Welcome to our podcast,
the DBS Dialogue.
In this podcast, we're joined by Miss Reynolds and we're going to be discussing leadership. So Miss Reynolds, who do you look up to for inspiration?
Well, I think the link between inspiration and leadership is a really important one because I think successful leaders have to inspire the people who follow them, and the people who inspire me are people who have the courage to stand up for what they believe in. One of my sort of favourite pop references of somebody who is a strong leader would be Beyonce. I think she has given women particularly a voice. So I find inspirational leadership in people from popular culture, very famous people, but equally in my day-to-day life. I find, for example, my younger sister very inspiring. She's leading her own business. She's carving her way in product leadership in an emotionally intelligent capacity. I'm very proud of her for that, but I also find that very inspiring.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you, Miss, with looking up to Beyonce. What do you think are the most important attributes of a successful leader?
I think there's sort of two key attributes that that immediately spring to mind. One is that leaders who never consider themselves the finished product really inspire me. They have an element of humility where they realise that they don't always have the right answers, that they still get things wrong, and that they're still on a learning journey, and that is something that makes being a leader feel more achievable. If that's what being a great leader is, that's great, because everybody can be there at some point and be reflective and honest and say sometimes they don't know the answer to things, and that's okay. I think the other thing about what makes a leader is their responsibility to empower others and support and nurture leadership in other people. And that's one thing that I really feel is a duty of mine as the principal of the school. So not only empowering staff and their leadership voice, but also students, which is why we're having this conversation now. And our meetings that we've had so far this year have been about how do we build structures to enable students to have a voice.
Yeah, and Finley and I are definitely really appreciative of you being able to help us and empower us as student leaders.
Absolutely.
And passing on all your knowledge of what it is to be a leader.
Well, I'm thoroughly enjoying it as well, if it helps.
Us too.
Yeah.
Good.
So how do you keep your team motivated despite conflicts and obstacles?
Well, I think one of the key things around being a leader is having a really clear vision, and that vision has to kind of be built from the team of people you're leading and shared with those people. So at the beginning of this year, in August, when we met with staff on the 22nd of August, we had all the staff in, and I shared what I felt was really important as we recover after the pandemic, and now of course we're almost totally back to normal school life with no masks. It was about injecting joy back into school, giving our students opportunities and also giving them a voice to shape their school experience. And so by sharing that vision with staff, it gives us a common purpose. When you have a common purpose, when you have conflicts or obstacles that you have to overcome, if you realign your vision together again, you quite often will find a pathway through.
So, Miss, what is one thing that really makes you proud about being the principal of DBS?
Oh, well, I think the students make me proud. I feel like I've landed the best job in the world. There's a phrase that I keep saying. I said it to the staff, I say it to parents who look around the school. We are probably the smallest outstanding British curriculum international school in Dubai, and that's what makes us special. We are small but mighty is the phrase that I keep coming up with, and I truly feel that, and I believe that this is an incredibly special school, and the students just make me beam with pride. I absolutely am blown away by their maturity. Even just listening to you both on your last podcast, I just could not believe I was listening to two students. It's absolutely amazing. So the students, I think, is what makes me proud.
So how do you communicate your core values with other leaders at Dubai British School, Emirates Hills?
We try to have kind of key themes that run through the year. So the two obvious ones that I've spoken about already are around opportunity. So hopefully you will have seen the ECA programme that came out was a much improved version of what's come before, and that was has come from, again, sharing the vision with the staff about we want our students to just love coming to school, and we want them to look at that programme and think, fantastic, here's all this great stuff I've got to look forward to. So recognising the strands of opportunity and how they manifest throughout the school experience. So opportunity being one, we've got our ECA programme. We are throwing ourselves into getting out on school trips, taking part in competitions, representing the school. We've had students just today, our under-14s and under-12s football teams over at Greenfield International School representing the school, and just making sure that children have those, and students have those fantastic opportunities to just live and breathe enjoyment. And that is one of my core values at the moment, is ensuring that the joy agenda is high on our to-do list. And the other element that I'm really pushing at the moment is around student agency and student voice. And the way I communicate it is by just going on about it all the time. So pointing it out in my staff briefing that we have every Monday, I quite often talk about the meetings I've had with you guys and making sure that the staff keep hearing the same messages, and then they in turn will reiterate those messages with the students. I know that in our assemblies, our leaders revisit key themes. Well-being is a really important theme this year as well, and I know that through our assemblies and through the curriculum that's being tackled as well. So you have to find lots of different vehicles, but essentially repetition and remanifesting those themes throughout the year is what keeps them alive.
Yeah, well, that's everything. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you again for all your support.